Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm back in the Washington DC area and I'm visiting Kenilworth Aquatic Gardens, which is a nature preserve across the Anacostia River from the National Arboretum. It's the last day of winter and it feels like winter because it's like just barely freezing right now and it's not going to get a whole lot warmer before the end of the day. But the trees are starting to bloom. It's been a very mild winter in this area, actually across the whole Northeast. And as you can see behind me, the cherry blossoms are starting to bloom. Hopefully the cold weather today is not going to damage too many of the blooms. Apparently that can definitely happen. So I've been told that in the water areas, what was that? I don't know what it was. But I've been told that there are, well, I know that there are bald eagles in the area because I've seen them around before along the Anacostia River. And I've been told that they've been active recently, again, probably because of the relatively mild weather. So I hope to capture today some migratory birds. We got some year-long residents like chickadees and such, but the Carolina wrens. But also hopefully there will be some local migrants. And, we'll see what we see. So catch up with you in a little bit. Way across the river, there's some sandpipers running around. Not sure what kind it is. They might be yellow legs. From this distance it's hard to tell. I'm hearing a lot of road noise. I apologize for that. First of all, I'm using my camera's onboard audio, and second of all, just to my left is US Route 50, which is one of the main thoroughfares in Washington, D.C. Talk about urban wildlife. I see what they are now. They're killdeers, a type of plover, which are endemic to the area, well, native to the area. The riverbank was literally full of junk. The Anacostia River is very polluted. Most of my work in post involves cleaning up the garbage. After that, I enhanced the forms and reflections in the sand and the water. I wish cleaning up the river itself were that easy. Well, while I was shooting the killdeer across the river, a pair of ospreys flew right over my head and went downriver. I missed the shot. So hopefully they will come back. It's early in the morning, so this will be the time when they'd be most active feeding. And I'm hoping that the osprey come back, or if I see eagles in the area, I'll be able to catch one. Again, pardon my road noise. Is major highway US 50 right behind me, or right in front of me as I'm speaking. So I'm gonna keep on walking and keep my eyes open. And he's unfortunately not being a chameleon. I can't have my eyes pointing in different directions. Otherwise, I would have gotten those osprey shots. But hopefully, I'll have another chance later. All right. I don't know if you can hear it, but in this thicket that's right in front of me, there's at least two species of songbird. One is a white-throated sparrow. The other is a song sparrow. So I'm going to hang around. Hopefully, one will come out from the bush. You might be able to see them jumping around a little bit in the thicket there. Very secretive. And since I'm kind of standing out here in the open, I'm going to see if I can find maybe a little bit of a sheltered area and spy on them for a bit. And hopefully one will pop out where I can get a decent shot of it. Very common birds, one of my favorites. So if I do catch anything, either in video or photo, you'll see it. And if not, I'm going to move on. My RF 100-500 lens and 1.4x extender have a maximum aperture of f10, but you'll notice that many of these shots were taken with a smaller aperture than that, and that was by accident because my thumb keeps hitting the scroll wheel on the back of the camera. I'm going to have to get into the habit of locking my settings. Alright, that's my first decent capture right there. It was a Carolina wren. Actually, there were two of them serenading, or I won't say serenading each other because wrens are very territorial and basically they're defining each other's territory. The one that was right in front of me and the other one that was somewhere off to my left. So That's one shot in the bag. That's fairly decent, I think. So I'm going to move on and see what else I can find along here. The kinglet was as tiny as a dandelion puff flitting from branch to branch. At 700 millimeters from less than 20 feet away, you can see how tiny it still appeared in the raw file. Even with a long lens, you gotta get close to photograph tiny songbirds. So there's basically two ways to do bird photography. One is to find a place where there are birds regularly, set up a hide. There's something else hopping around over there. Set up a hide and wear a lot of camo and wait for them. And a related technique to that would be to set up a feeder and wait for birds to come to the feeder and not necessarily shoot them at the feeder, but shoot them around the feeder, like in the surrounding foliage. And the other way, which I find more enjoyable just because it gives me a chance to walk around, and pardon me not looking at the camera because there's a bird right in front of me, is to stalk. Pardon me. Oh, it's a catbird, or I think. No, it's, well, whatever it is, it's not a good spot for me. Sorry. Got a little distracted. I'm going to keep walking and talking while I try to approach whatever that bird is. I'm going to stop right now. It appears to be a song sparrow. It's feeding on the road now, or just off the trail. See if I can get a little closer, maybe get down on the ground and shoot it from there, which would be a much more flattering angle. So whatever I capture, you'll see momentarily. Yeah, the sparrow shot didn't really work out, so I'm going to heading up towards a neighboring park. So I left Kenilworth. Actually, right now I'm heading towards, I think it's Bradenton State Park, which is in Maryland. So, actually I heard a news report that otters have been seen along the Anacostia River in Bradenton Park. So I don't know if I'm going to see those, but I might find some remains because apparently their scat has been seen on the docks, on the piers, I should say. Then in the park, I'm about a half a mile away from there, so I'm going to head up towards that area, and then I'm going to head back towards Kenilworth. And hopefully, still waiting for those ospreys or eagles or whatever raptors are in the area. And well, we'll see. It's always hit and miss. And I talked about stalking versus lying in wait. Stalking for me is more fun, and plus I don't have a big ass 600 millimeter prime that would probably much require me to use the laying weight method with a 100 to 500, even with the 1.4S extender on it. It's pretty easy to carry. So, you know, and it gives me a chance to get out and walk, which is one of the best things about nature photography, bird photography, wildlife in general. Just getting out in the area, in the outdoors, whether they actually make a capture or not. All right, so still walking, and see what we find. The rattling call of a kingfisher drew me to this pier just as a kayaker came by. The Anacostia is popular with local kayakers and rowers. Eventually, I spotted a female belted kingfisher across the river. Unfortunately, it flew away before I could capture any stills of it. Well, I'm heading back down towards Kenilworth again. The river widens down that way, and I might have a better chance of getting the ospreys, which seem to be more active down there because they actually came back over. We're near where I am right now. Missed the shot again because I was going for the kingfisher, and they went back downriver. So I'm going to head back downriver, and then maybe go back into Kenilworth itself. There's an area there. I mean, it's called an aquatic garden because they have patties aside where they grow water lilies and lotuses. And while they're not growing yet, there are water areas which do have fish in them. Last time I was there, I got a shot of herons and egrets. So I don't know if I'll see either one of those, but there may be other more birds in the area over there simply because there's fresh water. Water along the Anacostia here is actually kind of brackish. It's more of a tidal estuary than a true river. So not really good for birds to drinking, but the ponds in Kenilworth are, and I've seen warblers and such around there. So I'm gonna go downriver, see what's up down there, then double back towards the aquatic garden area, the lily ponds, and see if there's anything worth shooting there before calling it a day. Well, I finally saw both the eagle and the ospreys. I captured the ospreys. I'll pop those shots up now. The eagle was across the river. Actually, I heard it a few minutes or a little while ago before I saw it. And by the time I saw it, it was too far away and going behind the trees, and I couldn't get a good shot of it. But it was heading, well, kind of downriver, and I don't know. It may or may not come back to this area. Obviously, since I know it's here, and I can report that it's here, hopefully I'll get a decent shot of it. Right now, all I've got is, oh, there he is. Neither of these raptor images is particularly good. Their very heavy crop leaves enough data to be shareable on social media, but that's about it. But despite the significant distance the osprey and eagle were from my position, I was able to render a decent amount of detail, luminosity, and contrast from the somewhat underexposed raw files. Goes to show what a high megapixel camera, decent editing, and today's superb AI software make possible. Images I think were very good really, but at least they're record shots. And in fact, I was just talking to a birder heading up in the opposite direction. I told him about the ospreys, and I mentioned that seeing what appeared to be an eagle, and he said he'd already seen it also, but he had not seen the ospreys. So, you know, so what birders do, we help each other out, point each other in the right direction. Apparently down by the, told me there's a pair of blue-winged teal, which is a duck, in the area back where I'm back in the lily pond area. So see if they're still around over there. So far, so it's been a decent day of birding, and be out here a little bit longer. My fingers are getting pretty cold though, so I don't know how much longer I'm going to hang out. But day's not over yet. Well, somewhere along the line I lost the wind muff off my lav mic, so I've got my wireless mic mounted directly onto my camera strap. Little did I realize that my audio was the least of my problems. My GoPro 8 apparently crapped out from the cold, and all my remaining clips were corrupted. So I'll do an audio outro over a slideshow of my remaining images. If you're still here, thanks for watching. If you liked what you've seen aside from this ending, give me a like and a comment. And please subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Hit the notification bell so you'll know when my next video releases, hopefully without technical snafus. I'll see you again soon. Bye.